So good morning, everybody, and welcome to today's new agent training. Today is the 31st of May, and I'm glad to have all of y'all, or some of you, or one of you, whoever's on there, on the line. And I know a lot of you will be watching this and reviewing it and seeing it later on my YouTube channel. But welcome to y'all that are on the line, and I'm excited. Today is the end of May and going into June. We're having a great end of May, and I expect June to be super. So I want to give you any and all tools that we can in order to be successful out there in the field. Because if you don't put on your shoes and you don't feel comfortable or confident with what we do, what Security National Life has to offer, then it's you don't want to talk to people. So we want to make it easy. We want to make it simple and fast, and the user experience to be good. So today what I want to go over and is really just the loyalty app. Again, my name is Keelan Johnson, and I'm the market sales director for Texas, Oklahoma, New Mexico, Kansas, Colorado, and outlying areas if you're in a group. So I'm excited about that, and been around since 2016. Been in the insurance business for 23 years now. Time flies, but I am finally grandfathered in on all my training. So that was a good deal. I never thought I'd make it, but look at all this. It shows. So, but let's have some fun today and go through the loyalty app. The loyalty app, just so you'll know for new people, is our newer version of our core product. So we had the simple security plan, and now we have the loyalty. It's basically the same thing, other than we opened up quite a bit of underwriting for first day coverage, and we're super excited about that. I did a little flyer. I'm kind of a visual guy, and so I like to see things. I hope that y'all can see my screen, and I hope I'm sharing this and can see my screen. Tyler, I think you're on. If you can see my screen, would you just unmute and say yes or so?
Yes, absolutely. I see it.
Super. Thank you, sir. So I like visual things, and I challenge you. I sent this out last week, and I'll send it out again. It's also on my Facebook. So if you haven't joined my Facebook business page, join that, because I like to put fun things out there for people to use so that you can use it on your Facebook, or you can use it for people, or you can print it off and say, hey, this was good. I like this. It's made more sense this way. But I just want you to really kind of just squint your eyes, if that's a word, and look at the things when you're talking to people. Because here's the thing, as we all get out there in the field, people like to self-diagnose themselves. And they like to say, oh, well, you couldn't cover me because I tried to apply through State Farm or wherever. Not that they're a bad company, and these things weren't covered, and couldn't get this covered, and things like that. So I'm going to mute everybody real quick. Morning, Ryan. So these are things that when you're out in the field, you could carry around and just talk to people about, because they want to say, oh, well, I've got rheumatoid arthritis. You probably couldn't protect me. And I'm going to take it off of my video to share bandwidth. Not what I wanted. I've got anxiety, I've got asthma, I've got hepatitis C, I've got this, that, and the other, and they want to self-diagnose themselves and tell you, well, you probably couldn't cover me. Oh, I know you can't cover me. Oh, I know this won't work. And that's not true. That's not true at all. We do cover those things. So when I came over from Farmers Insurance, which is a great company too, I didn't realize that we could cover this many things. And so I want you to have this optimism about you. I want you to have this strut, so to speak, about you, to know that you're writing policies with a company that can protect almost anything. And our goal as a company is to be your, I understand you may have another carrier or two. That's life. You're human. You're a 1099 grown person, and I get it, because I want you in the very end of the day, I want you to be able to protect every single person, whether it's with us or another carrier or whatever, because I care about you, and I do want that to happen. And I care about your client because they need protection, and that's what it's all about. But look at these things just kind of, in a nutshell, where over the simple security plan, And now the loyalty plan, we cover these things like day one coverage, preferred, the best rate. We write high blood pressure. We now write insulin diabetics from 0 to 99 units. We now write people with cholesterol, bipolar, if you've got asthma, anxiety disorder, if you've been cancer free for 2+ years, if you've been on blood thinners, certain ones, for over 2 years, and I'll show you that in the app today. If you've got rheumatoid arthritis, preferred. Hepatitis C that's been treated, and I'll show you that today. We've moved that into preferred. Hypothyroidism, thyroid, preferred. Migraines, preferred. Drug overdose, preferred. Amputation, preferred. Endometriosis, preferred. Day one coverages. Standard plan, which is, remember, we've got preferred, standard, and modified. In our standard plan, we now can write people with COPD, and I'll show you where that's in the application. And people that have seizures. We even write insulin diabetics. We've raised that up to 121 units to go day one coverage. And now we write people that take gabapentin with neuropathy. So, I mean, gosh, look at this right now. When you're, and when you're out there in the public and you talk to people, and, I want you to know these things, what goes where, and I want them to be simple to where you're giving people confidence. And they say, you probably couldn't write me. You have seizures and take insulin. Well, yeah, no, we can. You actually can. Really? You can? No, we can. I'd like to visit with you. And that gives you the open door now. They didn't just slam the door on you. Now you've got an open door to go talk to them. And now you've got a pathway to go visit with them about some optimism. I like to try to wake up with optimism every day as best as I can. If it's just, I like to, wake up with something happy or good or exciting, because, what else are we going to do with our day if we can't be happy? So try, and hey, listen, let's put the past behind, things we couldn't write, or with, people we couldn't cover. But now, if you've been in the business for a while, you can now come back to these people and go, hey, remember when I didn't have anybody, now you told me you got an amputation? I can write that now. Okay. So I want you to have that. And if you want a copy of this, just text me or email me after this, and I will get you a copy of this. I think it's a very good resource for you to have. And I wanted to share.
Hey, Q, I have a quick question.
Yes.
For example, I have a gentleman that he has cocaine on his medical records. He wants $1 million term policy. Is that something that that SML would be able to work with, you think?
We only do, Tyler, and I was going to get into that. We are only one product, Tyler. Security National Life is only a whole life final expense.
Oh, okay.
Product. So we don't do term policy. We just do whole life up to $50,000, and we'll get into that in just a second. But yeah.
Oh, thank you, man.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, and you're welcome to have a term carrier out there and go get you one, and because we want you to be able to cover and protect everything. Absolutely. So I'm going to jump for a second into the application. I want to give you a couple of resources here, Ryan and Tyler. My number one resource here is my tools page, and you'll see it right here. Here's the URL here, and this is finalexpenselife.us. So I'm going to put it in the chat box. You're welcome to copy it off of there if you can get chat. If you can't, I'll get it to you later. But it is basically easy. finalexpenselife.us. So it's a URL. It's a website I created because I love using it for training, and I think it's very helpful for y'all. When you scroll through it, you'll find it very easy. There's no drop down boxes. It's just a roll up and roll down, just like a garage door. So, again, you'll see things in here like two ways that we sell policies. We sell them in person with a piece of paper, and or now we are about to roll out our iPad option. But when we do the paper out, you send it straight to the company, and you never have to make a phone call. You just send it straight to the company through your iPad or through your phone, all good to go. And we'll get into that later. How to sell a policy over the phone. Again, we have the web app where you can write an app for someone over the phone, over your computer, call home office 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and do a recording and on the recording line. And I'm going to release some of the information again this week also. but it's a very simple process. Your rate calculator, very easy rate calculator to get in and out of. And then tools for you. I challenge you, one homework assignment I challenge you to do is go through here and really just thumb through these. Because of time today, I'm not going to do it on this call. But for example, 4 policies here. These are our 4 policies we have right here. And we have the loyalty plan, which goes up to age 90, up to 50,000. We can even write people with ITIN numbers or TIN numbers that don't have socials. Security care plan is down there. That's basically that little pod is for people from 0 to 40. And that's about to go to what we call the Guardian. And it's going to go up to 25,000. We're super excited about that because that opens the door up for younger people, for people in their 30s and 40s that want to that see the value of a small whole life policy and protecting their family. And then we have our MIB. This is what you would think of as kind of like your guaranteed issue. People with Alzheimer's and dementia. It's a growing plan, up to 10,000. And the eye care. The eye care, we really don't use that much, and we really probably won't be using it much at all anymore once we go up to 25,000 with our security care. But just wanted to show you a couple of tools. Another cool tool that I have here that I really like to use because it was important to me as an insurance guy was I wrote this policy. I'm not going to tell you how old I am now, but I'm 8 years older than that. So 7. But you know what? This made sense to me, Tyler and Ryan, because when you're out there, I know I saw Tyler a while ago. He's a young man, and but you're out there and you're talking to people, and their minds are all set on, well, you got any ULs or you got an IUL or a VUL? I want some cash. I want to grow it. I want some savings. And there's nothing wrong with that. Or I need a term, 200,000 or 300,000. I need to protect my rear end for a while, whatever it may be. That's perfect. And there are needs for that stuff. And, I've had my Series 6, my 63, and my 7, 24. So there are good opportunities in that market. But what we do is a solid core basic whole life policy. But what the cool part about it is it does have some sexiness to it, if you will. At the bottom, I'll be 61 at that point in time, and I will have paid in $8,200 into my policy, but I'll have cash value of $6,000. So the cool part about it is I could take that money and just go to the casino or something, whatever, when I'm 61. But look at this. This tool is growing. I've already had it 7 or 8 years. I've got $1,700 in it. And, so not a bad deal. 4.5% interest rate. It grows to 6,000. I've only spent 8,200 in there. And so I really.
So the whole life does 4.5 a year is what you're saying?
What's that?
Your whole life does 4.5 a year?
Can you see my screen?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. At the bottom, see the 4.5% interest at the bottom?
Yeah, that's pretty good. That's damn good.
Yeah. So the whole lot, again, our company at Security National Financial, y'all know it or not, out of Salt Lake City, Utah, there's several different, I'll talk to you. There's several different pieces of the umbrella, so to speak, avenues or departments or different gears to the company. We've got a mortgage division, and they write mortgages on people. Right now it's terrible because interest rate. We've got a fast funding division, and the fast funding division, what they do is they go into funeral homes or go into the funeral homes, and they fund funerals for people that have other policies with other carriers that they can't get their money. So it's like loaning them money. We have an assets division that owns funeral homes and mortuaries. And then we have our division, which is also included with the pre-need. So the pre-need is they work with funeral homes. We work with people in their homes. So that all works together like this, is that we bring in the money. We're the kind of the cash cow, if you will, the premium. The premium is then given to the mortgage company to secure and fund mortgages. And then the mortgage company sells that back out on the open market to Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac and make an interest rate there. And then we put it in the assets division or put it back in reserves. So I say that to say this is when I came on the company and I saw this policy, a whole life, I was like, man, that's pretty good, because Farmers was paying like 1.5 or 2 or whatever it may be. And then you've got your loan values, and then you've got your paid up. So essentially when I'm 61, I paid in $8,200. I'll have a $12,000 paid up policy. If I want to quit paying premiums and just do nothing, then I can do that at 12,366. If I want to take my cash, I can do that, or I can keep paying my premium and keep going on. Okay, so I want you to know the gears behind what you're giving people and what you're doing for people is very good with the policy that they have. Again, roll through some of these things. You're going to want to know, the prescription guide, because you're going to want to look up medicines, and you're going to want to make sure you follow the height and weight charts, which they're right here for you. You can throw through these referrals and so forth and so on. One thing I want to show you also is right here on the Find Out More. Each one of these trainings like today is I record it. So I've got a whole YouTube full of training videos there. The Power of Five is kind of one thing that I'm leaning on this year. Branding yourself, overcoming objections, new agent training, how to write the loyalty plan. So any of those. So navigating the agent portal was last week. Completing the loyal web app was a week before last, I think. Anyways, go in there. So here is my YouTube channel, and I will also copy this and put it here for y'all to use if you like that. One other resource that I have, and I'm going to update it because it needs to be updated, I think, is the new agent training. This is a 7 steps to begin writing final expense with us. Y'all may be tenured, you may not use this, but ordering your supplies, navigating the portal, and everything else. So it's 7 steps. I'm going to be revamping this, but you're welcome to have this here and play around in here and look at some of these videos too. Because, hey, I don't want to just send you the videos, but crud, if you film one and you got information out there, might as well save it and share it. So I want to jump in here. I'm gonna take a shortcut here, but if you see right here on my final expense, I know y'all aren't all in Texas, but I'm going to click on Texas here. And then I'm going to go to the loyalty application. And I'm going to bring this up. So the loyalty app, I'm not going to go through this in detail today in nauseam, because you can figure out how to write an application and fill out names and email addresses and whatever. If you have any questions, you can call me and we can walk through it, or you can jump on one of the trainings that has to do with writing the paper application. But what I want to focus on today, just so y'all will know, is just how to read these underwriting questions and kind of what they mean, and so that you get a better grasp as to what we're looking for and how to rate it between a preferred, standard, or a modified. Again, you've got preferred, standard, and modified right here. That is the best level, and then the modified, and then you've got the modified is the 2-year return of premium. 2-year return of premium. So I hope y'all can see this application here on this one. So when I go through the first section, I've got section 1 right here. Hold on one second. Go to the first section here. In section 1, I'm going to hit a mute button here. Morning.
¿Cómo estamos?
Good morning. All right. So section 1, hopefully y'all can see it. If you can't, say no, but if you can, just follow along with me. Section 1 is our knockout questions right here. So we cannot have any of these with the yeses. And I want to just kind of, because when you're talking to people, you don't really need to read it out completely. I mean, ad nauseum, it gets a little boring and they'll probably fall asleep. But basically what this says, I'm going to highlight a few areas right here, and you can follow along with me or take a picture. Within the last 30 days, have you been in the hospital or a nursing facility, or have you stayed overnight in one of these facilities in the last 30 days? Have you stayed overnight in one of these facilities? Yes or no in the last 30 days? In the last 12 months, have you been diagnosed with a terminal illness? Yes or no? Terminal illness, okay, in the last 12 months. Number 3, in the last 30 days, have you had a seizure? Okay, so that's within the last 30 days, have you had a seizure? We're going to get into seizures in a minute also in section 2, which is very important, because in section 2, which is our standard plan, we have an option for people that have not had a seizure in 2 years. So that's day 1 coverage. But if you have had a seizure in the last 30 days, that's a knockout. They just got to wait. Okay, and they got to wait for after that. I want to make sure I don't have any questions here going forward. So hope everybody's still with me. All right. On question 4, in the last 90 days, have you been treated or diagnosed with cancer? Now, cancer is one of those questions too that's going to come up again in your application. But on this particular portion, we want to know, has it been within 90 days? Because what you're going to find over here in this section is on cancer number 15. If you've been cancer free for 90 days, okay, if you've been, follow along with me, if you've been cancer free for 90 days and less than 2 years, we can go into our modified. So again, 0 to 90 days on cancer, knockout, 90 to 2 years, modified, over 2 years, cancer free, you can go preferred. Okay, so just remember on cancer, the word cancer, 90 and 2 years. 90 and 2 years. Question number 6. This is where hepatitis C gets a little confusing here, but we had to do this because hepatitis C is now being treated where it was not before. So we have opened the door to be able to cover people with hepatitis C. And the way this question reads is that within the past 6 months, have you been diagnosed for hepatitis C or treated? Or has it been less than 90 days since completing the treatment? So what you're going to find over here is that in these questions, you're going to find the hepatitis C question, and then you're going to find it come through here with a drug called Harvoni. Okay, so you're going to come with a drug called Harvoni, and if you've been treated and you've been clean and clear of that, then you can go into one of our day one coverages. So that's important. Number 7, we're talking about Alzheimer's and dementia is really what comes up here. There's some other ones here. You don't see them that often. Maybe organ transplants. That's a knockout for us. Dialysis. That's a knockout for us, but that will go over into our MIB plan. So that will be taken care of in our MIB plan. And then HIV. Okay, HIV. So really, as long as all of these are no's here, we're in good shape to move on to the next part of the application. Okay, that is section 2. Section 2, again, has gotten larger, which is really exciting because this is day one coverage. So pay attention to question number 10 because this will be changing. The company made a mistake on the application. I won't say we. The company made a mistake on this because what you're going to find here is kind of a double-edged question. But on 10, it says, do you use less than 121? Okay, what it meant to say is that do you use between 100 units and 121 units? Because remember, when you look right here on the bottom, 100 to 121 is standard, and then anything less than that is 99. So what I need you to just write down, jot down, memorize, think about. If the person takes less than 100 units of insulin a day, if the person takes less than 100 units of insulin a day, put no here. No, because you want to get a preferred rate. Remember, you want to get a preferred rate. So you're going to put no there and get a preferred rate. If they're in between 100 to 121, 100 to 121, I know I'm being redundant, but I just wanted it to sink in a little bit. Between 100 and 121, that's when you put yes, and you get a standard. But that's still good because day one coverage, we're still going up to 121 units of insulin per day. Okay. This is where we've made some changes too. I mean, if you've been have not had a seizure in 2 years, you can get day one coverage. Now, what you're going to find seizures is down here also in this box. So let me rewind here. Don't get confused here. I know it's tough here, but if you've had a seizure in the last 30 days, it's a knockout. If you've had a seizure right here within the last 2 years, it's modified. If it's been over 2 years, this is kind of like cancer. If If it's been over 2 years since your seizure, you get day one coverage standard. Okay, so that's what we're looking for. A knockout if it's been within 30 days, a modified if it's been between 30 and 2 years, and a day one coverage if it's been over 2 years. So when you're looking at seizures, also, you want to pop the question and say, well, how long has it been since you've had one? Oh, 3 years ago. Okay, cool. We can get you, day one coverage standard. Diabetic neuropathy, what you're going to find here is you'll probably run across this drug a lot or some, is gabapentin. Gabapentin is diabetic neuropathy, and the company has now moved that to day one coverage, which is a big deal in the industry and a big deal for us because it used to be modified. Now, if they're taking gabapentin for nerve pain, sciatic nerve or anything, then obviously we can do a day one coverage preferred. Just got to know what it's for and then what they're using it for. And we'll either do day one coverage or preferred, which is huge in the marketplace for us. Another big deal right here is COPD. So if you've got COPD, but you're not on oxygen and you don't smoke in the last 12 months, we can go day one coverage, which is standard plan, day one coverage, standard plan. Okay, yes, no. Okay, that's a big deal because we moved COPD from in here up to here. We moved gabapentin up into here into day one coverage from modified, and we moved our seizures up into here, and we've increased 121 units of insulin up here into day one coverage. So I just want y'all to kind of squint your eyes and let that soak in a little bit. Those are the changes that the company's made to move things from a modified 2-year return of premium plus 10% to the day one coverage, making it better rates for the client and a better opportunity for them. So down in our modified section, this is the return of premium plus 10%. I'm not going to spend a lot of time here, but again, we've been through the strokes. We cover the heart diseases, circulatory disorders. We cover the COPDs. Even if you use tobacco, emphysema, kidney disease, renal failure, liver disease, and you can have 3 yeses over here. So you can have 3 yeses over here and still get a modified plan. So I could have had a stent, I can have had lung disease, and I could have liver disease and still get a policy. You can have 3 yeses. Once it goes to 4, then it's a knockout. Okay, then it's a knockout. 22, paranoia, schizophrenia. Now remember, a lot of the minor depressive orders like bipolar and anxiety and things like that will go into our preferred. These are just major things, okay? This is just major stuff like the paranoia, schizophrenia, and major depression. So you got to ask that question. And most of the time, the drugs will tell you, the severity of the drug will tell you the severity of the depression or disorder. Have you been advised to have a surgery or treatment that you haven't had yet? Yes or no? And here is 24. Have you been treated for drug or alcohol abuse? So, other than that, we don't check your criminal history. We don't check that stuff. We're just saying, have you been submitted to a treatment facility and been advised to take that? Okay, your treatment. Are you dependent? And this is the key word. Are you dependent? A lot of people aren't dependent, but they use maybe a walker every once in a while or a wheelchair when they go to the airport or whatever. Okay, so that's just occasional use. But are you dependent or not? And we actually do write people that are dependent upon oxygen in our COPD. In our modified. So be aware of that because you're going to run across some people that may be on oxygen, and don't be scared to talk to them because we can cover them. And this one also it's changed. Amputation. We used to not write it at all, but now this is asking this. Have you had an amputation due to an illness or disease? An illness or disease. Now, if you had an amputation due to an accident, I was in a car accident and my foot cut off or whatever, that's fine. We can go preferred. Okay, but if it's an amputation due to illness, and that's where you find right here that I put amputation on preferred, but it does have to do whether it was from an accident or from an illness or disease. And then basically, this is probably the most important section of anything that you do with us, because the company wants to know, and that's why they pay you commission, obviously, is to be our eyes and ears in the field, to be eyes and ears in the field. So if you have let's say you have a blood thinner, and somebody had a stent, I'm going to put medical question here, number 14. And I'm going to put right here, medical condition, stent, and I'm going to put medication, blood thinner, warfarin. And then I'm going to put the dosage, whatever it may be, 20 milligram, and then time period. Basically, that's saying how long have you been on this? Well, for 3 years. Okay, 3 years. I've been on 3 years. So basically, fill it out. If you have a drug like high cholesterol, atorvastatin, so you're going to do a cholesterol, and you're going to put, atorvastatin. I'm not going to spell it out. But if it's not in here, like if the question doesn't ask it, anywhere up here, if you look at it like this, and it doesn't have any questions about cholesterol, then you're going to put not applicable, NA. But you still need to write it down. High blood pressure medicines and cholesterol, even though they're preferred, still need to write those down. We need you to get your best list together that you can and do your best job of completing this for us, because we need to be the eyes and the ears of the application. So basically, when you're out there talking about us, basically questions are, what is your age, Mr. and Mrs., what's your gender? Is your height and weight fall into realm here? Do you smoke right here? And then our knockout question, stayed in the hospital, seizures, Alzheimer's, dementia, any of these things? No. Okay, cool. Second question is it, hey, are you diabetic? Yes or no? Okay, how much insulin? You seizures, diabetic again, COPD, smoking, COPD, and then down to our other questions here in the modified plan. And if you kind of look at people, just as look at their body, you can go, hey, anything wrong with your brain, your lungs, your skin, your heart, anything, that I need to know about. Tell me about your stuff. Show me your medicine. Show me your money. Show me the medicine. Okay. And this goes along the same way. This is basically just the section that you need to focus on. It's just right in here with the medications. And then completing the application, go on in down here. And if you need some help, let me know. But the proposed insured, proposed owner, signature of owner, don't forget to do your agent statement. You can write your policy. And for those of y'all that are brand new, I strongly suggest you'll see it from me. Write a policy within the first 14 days you're with us. You're going to get lead credit, $250 worth of free lead credit, and an SNL shirt. So get on board there and jump out of the blocks quickly there. You can split your money or your commissions with any agent there. And then if you're riders, our loyalty plan does include a rider. Some of the key components of it is the kids have to be under 18. Under 18, and they will fall off at 25 off the rider. Okay, off of 25. One other thing too, so y'all do know about us, if you haven't learned or seen, is that we do have a accidental death benefit rider here. So if you look right here, this ADB rider is very important, and a lot of people like to use it, because let's say you write a policy for $30,000, you could do policy face amount 30, and then you could go right down here and do 30 more on your accidental death, okay, which would be all the way up to 60. So you could get up to $60,000 on coverage there. I need to look at the rider and see if they changed it, the face amount on that, but I think it might just be to 25. But anyways, I'll correct myself later, but you can for the younger people, if you want to write, people in the 40s or 50s, they're probably not going to pass away of natural causes. So if you add that to it, you can even sell this to the people. Hey, listen, I've got you for an accident up to 60,000. I got you for natural causes up to 30,000. Okay, on that. All right. So I just wanted today to kind of walk you through some of the underwriting, kind of a helicopter approach, a high end of the loyalty plan, what it looks like. I strongly suggest you get in there and play around, write yourself a policy, even go into, the agent portal here and which all of y'all have, links to the agent portal, or will be getting. Go into the agent portal here and go into your web app. And if you go into your web app, you can go through 2 or 3 screens. It's not going to charge you. You're not going to mess it up. Okay. So it's very important to maybe you jump through that and look at the web app there. Okay. So that would probably help you out quite a bit. All right. So I wanted to just kind of drive you around this morning on the application. I appreciate everybody, Ryan, Hector, Tyler, for being on the phone today and being on the recording today. Again, check out my YouTube channel. Check out these things. If you have any questions, holler at me. I'm a phone call away. I'm a text away. I appreciate everything y'all do for us, and I want to make it easy for you and y'all. And thanks for joining the team. And as I always say in Texas, adios.
I appreciate you, man.
Adios, y'all. Have a